Thank you so much for joining us. We start the session, international meeting of the Ombudsman for Protection of Rights of Business. May I ask Mr. Adam Abramowicz, the Polish Business Ombudsman, Ombudsman for Protection of Rights of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, to have a few words. Panie Rzeczniku, jeśli mogę prosić o zabranie głosu.
Szanowni Państwo, dzisiejszy panel jest jednym z punktów spotkania rzeczników z całego świata, rzeczników biznesu. Zapoczątkował te spotkania rzecznik biznesu z Gruzji, pan Irakli, który zaprosił nas na pierwsze takie spotkanie. Bardzo dziękuję za to, bo to się stało takim punktem, od którego następne spotkania się odbywają. Kolejne było w Uzbekistanie, też dziękuję za organizację, no a w tej chwili spotykamy się w Polsce, rozmawiamy o problemach biznesu w naszych krajach i dzisiejszy panel będzie właśnie poświęcony przedstawieniu działania naszych urzędów, naszych instytucji w ochronie biznesu. Myślę, że ta wymiana informacji pomoże nam także ulepszać działania naszych urzędów w naszych krajach.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to host a mixed online and physical presence of the Ombudsman, and starting from my right hand, Tatiana Korotka, Deputy Ombudsman of Ukraine, Roman Gaszczuk, Business Ombudsman of Ukraine, Mr. Adam Abramowicz, Ombudsman from Poland, and Otar Danelia, Ombudsman, Business Ombudsman from Georgia, Irakli Klinadze, former Ombudsman from Georgia, and Mila Czernogoric-Bijec from Bosnia. We have also our esteemed guests from South Korea and from Uzbekistan. From Uzbekistan, Mr. Dilmurad Kasimov, and from South Korea, we have Mr. Jobong Park, the Business Ombudsman of South Korea. May I ask first our guests from abroad who are connecting online to have a few words with us. Maybe start with South Korea.
안녕하십니까. 저는 한국에서 기업의 권익과 고충처를 위해 활동하고 있는 중소기업 ombudsman 박주봉입니다.
Hello, this is Jibong Park, the South Korean Ombudsman, working to protect the rights and interests of small and medium-sized companies.
오늘 포럼의 목적은 세계 각국의 중소기업 ombudsman 간 정보를 공유하고 국제 협력 활성화를 위한 취지로 알고 있습니다.
The purpose of today's forum is to share information between small and medium-sized businesses worldwide and to participate in events to promote international cooperation.
하지만 아쉽게도 코로나19와 여러 가지 공식 일정 등으로 직접 폴란드 현지에 참석하지 못한 점 깊은 양해의 말씀을 드리며 포럼 개최를 진심으로 축하합니다.
However, because of the official South Korean government affairs and COVID-19, we could not attend directly in Poland and ask for deep understanding from everyone. We would also like to congratulate opening the forum.
세계 각국에서도 ombudsman이라는 다양한 성격의 기관이 활동하고 있는 것으로 알고 있습니다.
I know that various ombudsmen with different functionalities are active in multiple countries worldwide.
한국에서는 중소기업 ombudsman뿐만 아니라 여러 경제사회 분야에서 ombudsman이라는 이름으로 다양한 역할을 하고 있습니다.
In Korea, not only small and medium-sized enterprises ombudsmen, but also various economic and social fields are under the name of the ombudsman.
그 중에서 중소기업 ombudsman은 대한민국 법률에 부과하여 중소 중견기업의 권익과 보호를 위해 불합리한 규제를 발굴하여 기업인들의 고충을 해소하고 유일한 조직이라고 말할 수 있습니다.
Among them, South Korea Ombudsman for SME is the only organization that innovates and resolves unreasonable regulations by Korean law to protect the enterprise's rights and protection.
최근 1년간 약 5천여 건의 기업의 크고 작은 규제를 발굴하였고 개선의 성과를 이루었습니다.
I have been working on finding around 5,000 simple or complex regulations for the companies to be improved and sold over a year.
기업에게 규제란 법률이나 법령을 제정하는 것부터 단순한 행정 절차의 개선까지 다양한 범위를 포괄하고 있습니다.
The regulation contains a wide range for companies, from passing and amending laws to statutes to improving simple administrative procedures.
규제의 개선은 기업 환경 개선을 이어지고 결국 국가의 발전과 경제의 개방성을 결정하는 중요한 핵심 요소라고 생각합니다.
Improvements in regulations lead to better conditions in the businesses, environment of companies, and they're critical factors in determining the degree of national development and economic openness.
한국에서도 국가 경쟁력의 근간인 기업의 성장을 위해 정부 차원에서 많은 노력을 하고 있습니다.
Even in Korea, the government is making lots of efforts for the company's growth, as their growth is the basis of national economic power.
세계적 경제 흐름에 빠르게 변화하기 때문에 그에 대응하기 위해 중소기업 ombudsman의 역할은 더욱더 중요해지고 있다고 생각합니다.
However, the ombudsman for small medium-sized business plays a more critical role than ever in taking action against the accelerating global economic changes and flows.
특히 코로나19 대유행은 전 세계가 국가의 경제를 요하게 되었습니다.
Especially COVID-19 has greatly risked all the global countries' economies.
전 세계 국가들이 코로나19에 대응하기 위해 다양한 비상한 조치를 취함에 따라 기업들은 막대한 경제 손실을 경험하였습니다.
To cope with COVID-19, the global nations took various emergency measures to protect public health. Consequently, the companies have experienced massive economic losses.
수백만의 자영업 일자리가 없어지는 등 전례 없는 경제적 환경에 놓이게 되었습니다.
The economic environment has faced unprecedented losses, with millions of self-employed jobs lost.
중소기업 ombudsman은 기업의 위기 경영 대응, 비즈니스 환경 개선, 국가의 지원 확대 등 기업에 대한 규제를 완화하고 기업의 문제가 되는 법적 장벽을 제거하기 위해 정부와 기업 간의 강요 역할을 충실히 하고 있습니다.
Ombudsman is necessarily here to bridge between the government and businesses to expand national support, deregulated, and remove legal barriers to the company and investment environment.
이것이 각국의 ombudsman들도 공통적으로 공유하고 있는 미래 비전의 핵심이라고 설명됩니다.
The following is considered to be the core of the future vision shared by the ombudsman of each country.
한국 ombudsman 또한 이와 같은 상황의 대책 마련을 위해 다방면으로 중소기업 ombudsman 제도를 활용하고 있습니다.
The Korean ombudsman is also using the SME ombudsman system in various ways to prepare countermeasures for these situations.
세계의 현재 상황은 모든 국가가 상호 연결되어 있으며 각 분야에서 국가 간의 신뢰 구축과 긴밀한 협력이 무엇보다 중요하다고 생각합니다.
In the current situation of the world, all countries are interconnected. Building trust and close cooperation between countries in each field are the most important.
다양한 국가에서 ombudsman 활동에 대한 모범 사례 등이 공유되었으면 하는 바람입니다.
I hope the best practice of the ombudsman's activities in various countries will be shared.
앞으로도 더욱더 이런 자리가 활성화되기를 기대하고 저도 작은 힘이지만 최선을 다해 국제적으로 ombudsman 제도가 활성화되는데 최선을 다하겠습니다.
Therefore, I hope that this Congress will be activated even more often. I, myself, as a small force, but I will do my best to revitalize the ombudsman system internationally.
아울러 이런 포럼을 통해서 각국의 옴부드만 제도에 대한 정보를 공유하고 벤치마킹을 할 수 있게 되어 고맙고 감사하게 생각합니다.
I am grateful to share and benchmark much information about the ombudsman system in each country through this forum. I look forward to seeing you all in person next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It was Jo Bong Park, the Ombudsman of South Korea, Business Ombudsman, and Ms. Ji Sim providing translation. Thank you, Your Excellency. And may I ask Your Excellency, Mr. Dilmurod Sultan Muratovich Kasimov, the Business Ombudsman of Uzbekistan, to say a couple of words. Your Excellency, we are ready.
Assalomu alaykum, hurmatli janoblar va xonimlar, forum ishtirokchilari.
Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen, forum participants.
Avvalambor, mazkur forumda ishtirok etish uchun taklif etgan hamkasbim, Polsce kichik va o'rta biznes ombudsmani janob Adam Abramovichga o'z minnatdorchiligimni bildirmoqchiman.
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to my colleague, the Ombudsman for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises of Poland, Mr. Adam Abramovich, who invited me to participate in the forum.
Mazkur forum ishtirokchilariga tadbirkorlarning huquqlari va qonuniy manfaatlarini ta'minlashda ilg'or tajribalarni o'rganish, o'zaro tajriba almashish va samarali takliflarni ishlab chiqishga katta imkon beradi.
This forum gives the participants a great opportunity to study advanced foreign experiences in ensuring the rights and legal interests of entrepreneurs, exchange experiences, and develop effective proposals.
Endi ruxsatingiz bilan tadbirkorlarni huquq va erkinliklarini himoya qilish borasida O'zbekiston tajribasini bilan tanishtirib o'tmoqchi edim.
With your permission, let me introduce Uzbekistan's experience in protecting the rights and freedoms of entrepreneurs.
Oxirgi yillarda mamlakatimizda tadbirkorlikni rivojlantirish, ularni huquqlarini himoya qilish borasida bir qator institutsional va fundamental islohotlar amalga oshirilmoqda.
In recent years, several institutional and fundamental reforms have been implemented in our country in the field of the development of entrepreneurship and the protection of its rights.
Birgina misol ushbu yo'nalishda 3000 dan ortiq qonunchilik hujjatlari qabul qilindi.
Just one example, more than 3,000 legislative documents were adopted in this field.
O'z vaqtida qabul qilingan choralar natijasida, xususan pandemiya avj olgan davrda iqtisodiy o'sishning ijobiy dinamikasini saqlab qoldik. Chunki tadbirkorlik sohasida 200 dan ortiq litsenziya va ruxsatnomalar bekor qilindi.
As a result of timely measures, especially during the outbreak of the pandemic, we have maintained the positive dynamics of economic growth.
Soliq turlarining umumiy soni 13 dan 9 taga qisqartirildi, ayrim soliq stavkalari esa 2 baravarga kamaytirildi.
Also, more than 2,000 license and permit types in the field of entrepreneurship were cancelled.
Tadbirkorlarning huquqiy himoyasini kuchaytirish, ularning muammolarini sudgacha hal etish maqsadida Prezidentimiz tashabbusi bilan 2017-yilda mamlakatimizda Biznes Ombudsman instituti tashkil etildi.
The total number of tax types was reduced from 13 to 9, and some tax rates were reduced by half.
Biznes Ombudsman instituti Birlashgan Millatlar Tashkiloti Bosh Assambleyasining 1993-yildagi rezolyutsiyasi bilan tasdiqlangan Parij tamoyillariga to'liq javob beradi.
Starting the next year, the value-added tax rate will be reduced from 15% to 12%. The Business Ombudsman Institute was established in 2017 at the initiative of the President to strengthen the legal protection of entrepreneurs and settle their disputes without reaching the courts. The Business Ombudsman Institute fully complies with the Paris Principles approved by the UN General Assembly resolution in 1993
Biznes ombudsman faoliyati 17 ta qonun, shu jumladan maxsus qonun va 6 ta kodeks bilan tartibga solinadi.
Business,
Bularga biznes ombudsman sudlaridagi huquqlari 4 ta protsessual kodeks, tadbirkorlarga o'tkazilgan tekshiruvlarni muvofiqlashtirish bilan bog'liq vazifalari 5 ta qonun hujjati bilan tartibga solinadi.
Business ombudsman activities are regulated by 17 laws, including a special law and 6 codes. In particular, the rights of the business ombudsman in the courts are regulated by 4 procedural codes, and the duties related to the coordination of governmental inspection conducted in the activities of entrepreneurs and regulated by 5 legal documents.
Biznes ombudsman institut tashkil etilgani, endi ta'sis etilgani, uni devonda jami 8 nafar xodim ishlardi. 2019-yil mart oyida Prezidentimiz tadbirkorlik faoliyatini himoya qilish tizimini tubdan takomillashtirish to'g'risidagi farmonlar asosida biznes ombudsman instituti tuzilmasi kengaytirildi va uning xodimlari soni 86 nafarga yetdi.
It should be noted that when the business ombudsman was established, a total of 8 employees worked in its office. In March 2019, based on the decree of the President on the fundamental improvements of the business protection system, the structure of the Business Ombudsman Institute was expanded and the number of its employees increased to 86. At the same time, employees of the Business Ombudsman were working in each region to establish close cooperation with the entrepreneurs in the whole Republic.
Respublikamiz hududlaridagi tadbirkorlar bilan o'zaro hamkorlikni yaqindan o'rnatish maqsadida har bir viloyatda hozir biznes ombudsman xodimlari faoliyatlarini amalga oshirib kelmoqda.
By decree, the Institute of the Business Ombudsman is given an additional authority to control over the compliance with the legal requirements by the supervisory bodies while conducting inspections in the activities of the entrepreneurs. To effectively implement this task, the Uniform State Control Information System was introduced. Through the system, ensuring the rights of entrepreneurs in inspection is carried out remotely.
Farmon bilan institutimizga qo'shimcha vakolat sifatida nazorat qiluvchi organlarning tadbirkorlar faoliyatida o'tkaziladigan tekshiruvlarni qonunchilik talablariga muvofiqligi ustidan to'liq nazoratni amalga oshirish yuklatildi.
Also in July of this year, according to the decree of the President on establishing an effective communication system with the entrepreneurs and further strengthen their legal protection, the number of employees of the Business Ombudsman Institute was increased to 101. With the decree, the Business Ombudsman was assigned to establish the entrepreneur's virtual office information portal and improve the system of working with businessmen's appeals.
Ushbu farmon bilan biznes ombudsmanga tadbirkor virtual ofisi axborot portalini yo'lga qo'yish va tadbirkorlarning murojaatlari bilan ishlash tizimini takomillashtirish vazifasi qo'yildi. Mazkur axborot portali tadbirkorlar murojaatlarini kecha-yu kunduz qabul qilish, hal etish, ular o'rtasida tematik va onlayn so'rovnomalar o'tkazish hamda zarur bo'lgan xizmatlardan foydalanish imkoniyatlarini qamrab oladi.
This information portal covers the possibilities of receiving and solving businessmen's appeals day and night, conducting thematic online questionnaires among them, and providing other services. Another issue is worth noting that the Business Ombudsman and his employees are authorized to formalize and send materials on administrative offences to the courts under Article 12 of the Code of Administrative Responsibility. A total of 2,812 officials were brought to administrative responsibility by the courts in the last 5 years based on such formalized materials. At the same time, in January of this year, law number 744 authorized the Business Ombudsman Institute to review administrative cases under Article 9 of the Code of Administrative Responsibility.
Biznes Ombudsman instituti tadbirkorlar manfaatlarini iqtisodiy, ma'muriy va fuqarolik sudlarida himoya qilish mexanizmi mavjud. Protsessual qonunchilik bilan Biznes Ombudsman institutini protsessual huquqlari belgilangan bo'lib, unga asosan sud jarayonini har qanday bosqichida kuchga kirgan sud qarorlari ustidan shikoyat berishga haqlidir.
The Business Ombudsman Institute has a mechanism to protect the interests of entrepreneurs in economic, administrative and civil courts. Procedural legal legislation defines the procedural rights of the Business Ombudsman Institute based on which it has the right to appeal court decisions entered into force at any stage of the court process.
Yana bir yo'nalish, normativ huquqiy hujjatlar to'g'risidagi qonunga muvofiq tadbirkorlik faoliyatini amalga oshirishga bevosita yoki bilvosita ta'sir ko'rsatuvchi masalalarga doir ishlab chiqilgan normativ huquqiy hujjatlar loyihalarini majburiy tarzda biznes ombudsman kelishishi belgilangan. Mazkur yo'nalishda biznes ombudsman instituti tomonidan jami 850 ta normativ huquqiy hujjatlar loyihalari ekspertizadan o'tkazilgan bo'lib, ular bo'yicha 1,5 mingdan ortiq takliflar berilgan.
Further, according to the law of normative legal documents, drafts of normative legal documents developed on issues that directly or indirectly affect the implementation of business activities are determined to be agreed with the business ombudsman. In this direction, a total of 850 projects of regulatory legal documents were examined by the Business Ombudsman Institute, and more than 1,500 proposals were made on them.
Tadbirkorlik muhitini yaxshilashga qaratilgan 27 ta normativ huquqiy hujjat ishlab chiqildi. Shu jumladan 10 ta qonun hujjati, 11 ta O'zbekiston Respublikasi Prezident hujjati va 10 ta hukumat qarori. Normativ huquqiy hujjatlarning tadbirkorlikka ta'siri samaradorligini baholash natijasida sohani rivojlantirish bo'yicha jami 238 ta masala yuzasidan takliflar kiritildi.
27 projects of regulatory legal documents were aimed at improving the business environment were developed, including 10 legal documents, 11 documents of the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and 10 government decisions. As a result of the evaluation of the effectiveness of the impact of regulatory legal documents on entrepreneurship, proposals were made on a total of 238 issues for the development of the industry.
Birgina misol, hurmatli Prezidentimizning 5490 sonli farmonlariga muvofiq fuqarolarning tadbirkorlik faoliyati bilan bog'liq jami 565 milliard so'mlik qarzlari hisobdan chiqarilishi natijasida 19435 nafar shaxsning tadbirkorlik faoliyati tiklandi. Koronavirus pandemiyasi sabab joriy etilgan cheklovlar sabab nafaqat bizda, balki butun dunyo tadbirkorlar muammoga duch kelishdi. Bu davrda ham biznes ombudsman instituti tomonidan tadbirkorlarning og'irini yengil qilish uchun jami 143 ta taklif kiritilgan va bu takliflar prezident hujjatlarida o'z aksini topdi.
To demonstrate, in accordance with the decree of the Honorable President number 5490, as a result of the write-off of debts of 565 billion sums related to the entrepreneurial activities of citizens, the entrepreneurial activities of 19,435 individuals were restored. As a result of the restrictions introduced due to the coronavirus pandemic, entrepreneurs faced problems not only in Uzbekistan but all over the world. During this period, the Business Ombudsman Institute made a total of 143 proposals to ease the burden of entrepreneurs, and these proposals were reflected in the presidential documents.
Hurmatli forum ishtirokchilari, ishonchim komilki ushbu forumning o'tkazilishi konstruktiv muloqot va munozaralar, shuningdek tadbirkorlarning huquqlarini himoya qilish borasidagi hamkorligimizni mustahkamlab, uni yangi bosqichga olib chiqishda yana bir bor turtki bo'ladi. Hamkorlik aloqalarini yanada rivojlantirish, biznes muhitini umumiy qo'llab-quvvatlash maqsadida tadbirkorlar o'rtasida yuzaga keladigan muammolarni kelishuv yo'li bilan yechish mexanizmlari bo'yicha o'zaro tajriba almashishni yo'lga qo'yishimizni taklif etaman.
Dear forum participants, I'm sure that the holding of this forum will once again be an impetus for constructive dialogue and discussion, as well as for strengthening our cooperation in the protection of the rights of entrepreneurs and taking it to a new level. To further develop cooperation relations to support the general business environment, I suggest that we start exchanging experiences on the mechanisms of solving problems that arise between entrepreneurs and by agreement. As well, as we all know, the Business Ombudsman usually has the authority to participate in the relations between the state and the entrepreneur.
Biroq ko'p holatlarda tadbirkorlar o'rtasidagi nizolar xalqaro sud organlarida ham yillar davomida bahslashishga sabab bo'lmoqda va biznesning rivojiga salbiy ta'sir ko'rsatmoqda. Shu bois mazkur munosabatlarni ham alternativ usullar, xususan mediatsiya yo'li bilan hal qilish orqali tadbirkorlik faoliyatini qo'llab-quvvatlash muhim deb hisoblaymiz.
As we all know, the Business Ombudsman usually has the authority to participate in the relations between the state and the entrepreneur. However, in many cases, disputes between entrepreneurs have been the cause of disputes in international judicial bodies for years and have a negative impact on the development of business. Therefore, we believe that it's important to support the activities of entrepreneurs by solving these relations through alternative methods, especially through mediation.
Tashqari, biz bugungi forumda ishtirok etayotgan barcha biznes ombudsmanlar va tadbirkorlik subyektlarining huquqlarini himoya qiluvchi tashkilotlar bilan ikki tomonlama hamkorlik aloqalarini o'rnatishga tayyor ekanligimizni ma'lum qilamiz. Aziz xonimlar va janoblar, forum ishidagi faoliyatingizga ulkan muvaffaqiyatlar tilab yana bir bor aziz do'stim janob Adam Abramovichga o'z minnatdorchiligimni bildirib o'taman. E'tiboringiz uchun tashakkur.
In addition, we inform you that we are ready to establish bilateral cooperation with all business ombudsmen and organizations protecting the rights of business entities participating in today's forum. Dear ladies and gentlemen, wishing you great success in your work at the forum, I would like to once again express my gratitude to my dear friend, Mr. Adam Abramovich. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Your Excellency, Business Ombudsman of Uzbekistan. May I now ask...
Grzegorz, czy my możemy zadawać pytania? Bo
Nie
tłumaczenie
ma
jest
szans
problem, tak?
Nie ma szans zdążyć.
Ale żeby się dopytać, czy rzeczywiście mają inicjatywę legislacyjną, bo dla nas to
Nie pytajmy lepiej.
w tej chwili niedobrze.
May I ask Mr. Roman Waszczuk, the Business Ombudsman of Ukraine, to say a couple of words to us.
Thank you very much, esteemed colleagues, business ombudsman, and especially our host, Mr. Adam Abramovich, Rzecznik MSP, here in Poland. It is often said that small business needs to be resilient. Indeed, business overall needs to be resilient, and in fact, our Ukrainian Business Ombudsman Office concerns itself with the whole range of business, from the very smallest one-person micro business to internationally active companies that are on the Ukrainian market. If that is the case, well then, Ukrainian business is particularly resilient. It has not only survived the impact of COVID in Ukraine, but since February 24th is dealing with the impact of full-scale war on the territory of Ukraine. And yet business continues, as does the activity of our Business Ombudsman Council, working virtually with staff who have been partly displaced, partly returned to the Ukrainian capital Kyiv, also working through satellite locations, first in Western Ukraine, also through the kind generosity of the Polish Ombudsman's Office in Krakow. What have we as an organization in general accomplished? Since establishment in 2014-2015, and I am the third business ombudsman since that time, we have managed to secure the return of what was, at the end of 2021, the equivalent of about $1 billion to Ukrainian business in terms of improperly levied taxes, fines, administrative payments. That is a highly quantifiable achievement. We have also issued a range, 12 systemic reports, and they have had a wide range of impacts, but I think I will mention only two here, one of which my colleague Tatiana Korotka was closely involved in, and that is a report on the regulation of building in Ukraine. And every single one of the recommendations in that report has been incorporated into legislation and regulation in the course of a thorough reform of Ukrainian building policies, something which will actually now be even more helpful in post-war rebuilding after Ukraine's victory. Similarly, in the field of administrative appeals generally, half of the recommendations in our systemic report were incorporated in a new law which harmonizes Ukrainian administrative appeal procedures with those of the European Union, thus supporting another priority of Ukraine and the Ukrainian business community, which is European integration, something that, of course, has received a major boost this year with the granting of candidate status to Ukraine as a candidate to the European Union. So we have managed to be effective both at the individual case level and in terms of systemic proposals and changes incorporated into Ukrainian legislation. But, dear colleagues, I am afraid that the work of any ombudsman, and including business ombudsman, is like a receding horizon. As soon as we have solved one set of problems, inevitably legislative change, business change creates new ones. I think there was a perhaps slightly naive belief in Ukraine in 2015, 2016, that you would create an office, it would fix all the problems within 4 or 5 years and then go away. That has not happened, and I think someone should have looked at the experience of Sweden, which created the first ombudsman office, which gave us the word ombudsman in 1713. That office is still here with us. So I think we need to see ourselves as our colleagues from Korea and Uzbekistan have pointed out, as part of a continuing dialogue, or in fact possibly trialogue, with 3 partners, business, government, and our own offices, working in a dynamic and sometimes, as in our Ukrainian case, turbulent environment to help business get its job done while working for the overall benefit of society. We, of course, having been through the turbulence of this year, did switch temporarily to less case-based and more general mode of assistance to Ukrainian business in adapting to the conditions of war. We're now returning to more regular case programming. But what we have learned is we need to be responsive to the changing needs of business and need to adapt our own procedures just as we demand change of government agencies, so too must we adapt to our changing environment. So that is why I'm particularly interested in hearing of the experience and views of colleagues here, which will allow us to further enhance the support that we provide to business, both large and small, in Ukraine.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. May I ask now His Excellency Otar Danelia, the Business Ombudsman of Georgia.
Thank you, Greg. In the first place, it is an honor and privilege to be present on the 12th European Congress on SMEs. I would like to especially thank my dear colleague, Adam Abramovich, for organizing this very important event and extending the Polish hospitality throughout the whole period of these activities. Thank you very much. Thanks to our colleagues for expressing their positions regarding their daily activities. I think in our case, Business Ombudsman's Office of Georgia is not different. Of course, we all serve to the same aim and goal. Just like our Ukrainian colleagues, we also need service for micro, small and medium and large business enterprises. As you know, Georgia is not a very big country, therefore our portfolio is not very big. We have around 15 staff members in the office. Just highlighting that Georgia is facing challenges for a few years now regarding the aspiration of European integration, Euro-Atlantic aspirations. We have signed deep and comprehensive free trade area agreement in 2014. Since this period of time, we are harmonizing with European standards. Of course, for business it is challenging, especially for micro and SMEs, especially the ones that are operating in service businesses. Government has extended tremendous support to all those businesses to support them in terms of access to the finance, in terms of knowledge transfer, implementing international and European standards to be competitive on the new markets. Georgia has signed free trade agreements with China, European Union, EFTA countries, with Turkey, and we hold the benefits of trading with the same free trade conditions with the CIS countries. Our biggest trading partners are Turkey, Russia, the CIS other countries. However, we have 3-4 positions that are major export and import related states. Those are, as I mentioned, Turkey, Russia, China, and European Union since signing the agreement has increased up to 28%. Of course, the COVID has made significant influence on the businesses that were more or less fragile in terms of development. Therefore, they are now in the process of recovery. However, we have to mention that the figures are looking very promising, considering that Georgia has managed to maintain leading positions in the region in terms of doing business. Georgia is ranking 7th with the Fitch and World Bank ratings, with mitigated risks of corruption. Also, from 22, the tax number of taxes were decreased from 22 to 6, just like our Uzbek colleague mentioned. So it was a very big relief for Georgian business. Of course, attracting foreign investments is very important for countries like Georgia. Therefore, simplified tax and transparency of budget is also very important, and we managed to be holding leading positions in those directions as well. However, as Roman mentioned, there are still quite challenging environments regarding post-COVID and now the war in Ukraine. Therefore, this is something that has made life much more terrible for the people in the region. In the first place, for the Ukrainians, because they are under the huge aggression and lives are lost as we speak. And we hope that this will come to an end as soon as possible. It has, of course, complicated the logistics and the transportation and trade issues. As you know, there are huge limitations in terms of airspaces and the Black Sea. So the goods are now redirected through different channels to make sure that they reach their destination points. However, they are under longer transit periods, they are much more costlier, and the security issues are also very important. So, considering this, I will focus on our everyday activities in Georgia. We have implemented online platform for submitting complaints, and 1/3 of complaints are now filed with online applications. We try to attend as soon as possible, and we also assist. This is relatively new practice. However, our assistance in the court seems to be very efficient so far. We will probably have the resume by the end of this year about how efficient was our cooperation with the business when it comes to the court disputes. One of the major challenges are the duration of disputes in the courts, which is something we try to challenge. Also, the tax-related issues are probably 80% of the complaints that we are reviewing and providing our recommendations. But I should say that it has become systematic, so we don't have any anomalies in this regard for the latest 6 to 7 months period of time. We have also created quite a good practice of providing our recommendations for any legislative initiatives submitted to the government. And most of the time they are considered, we cannot say that all the times, but we are challenging the government in terms of implementing new regulations and laws, because we know that all the regulations normally is quite heavy for business. They have to adapt, they need transitional period, they need appropriate conditions to make sure that those legislations will not be an additional weight and headache for business. Overall, I think we are doing relatively okay. However, of course, there is always room for improvement. One of the major directions for improvement, I think, is taking part in those type of gatherings, exchanging our experiences in our countries, as they are similar in most cases, and knowledge transfer. Of course, training of staff is very important to make sure we do have efficient staff members, especially when we are talking about good lawyers, good financial experts, that it is very hard to compete with the private sector in terms of attracting professionals on board. And they are the ones that has to be efficient, professional, to challenge the government, to challenge sometimes even the business, because sometimes it looks like they are not very objective in terms of the complaints and disputes. So it is important that we do maintain the objectivity and the efficiency and professionalism in terms of getting involved in those disputes to make sure that we achieve appropriate goals and support business as much as possible. So once again, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to express on behalf of the business ombudsman.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for your input, and may I ask now His Excellency Mr. Irakli Lekfinadze, Chairman of the Georgian National Competition Agency and former Business Ombudsman of Georgia, for a couple of words.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to special thanks for Mr. Adam for my invitation, and I am very glad to participate in this business forum. In 2018, 2019, I was holding the position of Business Ombudsman in Georgia, which was a very interesting and challenging period for me. First of all, I would like to say that Georgia is distinguished by its friendly approach to business. In this difficult period, the country maintains macroeconomic stability. We have more than 10% economic growth in this year. As in the whole world, inflation is high, but it is with the tendency of decrease and under regulation. Unemployment has decreased after the pandemic. It is within 11%. Foreign trade, export and import is increasing. This is facilitated by our free trade agreements with the CIS countries, the European Union, China, Turkey, etc. Despite the fact that foreign investment are stable. However, due to the war in Ukraine, it is quite difficult to attract investment in the region. And the main challenge is to preserve the existing investors. According to the data of recent years, reinvestments in Georgia have increased. Georgia is designated by low taxes. We have only six taxes. Bureaucracy is at minimal level, and custom, tax, and other services are electronic, which saves time and money for business. Business registration, real estate registration is possible in a day. We have a very low level of crime and corruption. During my role as business ombudsman, more than 500 cases were reviewed, most of which we are related to tax disputes. Companies that we are fined at various times disagreed with the violations and requested either cancellation or reduction. Despite a small bureaucracy, there were cases, especially in the regions of Georgia, where we worked on accelerating decisions. Within the frameworks of integration with Europe, Georgia adapted various regulations. Communications and discussions with business on the adapted regulations was one of the main issues. Were cases when we issued the function of a friend of the card, so-called amicus curiae, when a business had a dispute with various state agencies. This is how we created a portal where complaints from companies were received electronically. In 2019, a forum of business ombudsmen was also held in Tbilisi. We are 6 business ombudsmen and OECD representatives from different countries have been participated. The main outcome of this forum was our agreements to strengthen the platform where we could discuss our experience and develop capabilities. Today there are different models and forms of the business ombudsman office in the world. In some countries, the government finances it. In other countries, it is jointly funded by the governments and the private sector, and in others by international organizations. There are differences between terms and functions. However, the goal it is the same everywhere to protect business positions. I think today's forum and similar forums are very useful to get to know each other's experience, share cases and best practice. However, I think it would be interesting to work on a single unforced model to discuss how it is possible for this institution to work under the same legislation in all countries to ensure its degree of independence. In my opinion, I would be beneficial of such a concept is presented to the next forum discussed. I also think that one of the main functions of business ombudsman should be to assess to existing legislation, to work on its implications as well as to assess the impact of legislation on business. In my opinion, those are these issues we are sharing our experience. It's of great importance, and that is why this forum is essential. Briefly, I would like to inform you about the Competition Agency of Georgia. I am chairman of these authorities in Georgia. Our main goals is to protect fair competition in the markets, protect consumer rights, and implement anti-dumping policy. Thank you very much for the invitation. And
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Irakli Akfina, the chairman of the Georgian National Competition Agency. And may I also ask our guest from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Ms. Mila Czernogorac-Bajic, from West East Forum for Ethics and Compliance, to take floor.
Thank you. I just want to thank you to the Polish Ombudsman for asking me for this invitation today. I'm really glad I'm here today because we, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we still do not have business ombudsman institution. West East Forum for Ethics and Compliance is implementing a project that would advocate for this institution in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So why we want to do that? The reasons are, I think, the same as in any other country. First, we are losing foreign investors. Investors from USA or UK have a strict rules they have to obey to apply in their business. And if they do anything against that, the fine for that in their home countries may be much worse and bigger than any profit they could get in Bosnia and Herzegovina, because we are a small country. Also, domestic companies are surviving. They are deciding not to participate in public procurement process if they want to act and to do business with integrity. They decide to do business to business, just to cooperate with other businesses, not to apply for any public money. So they cannot grow. Their growth is very, very slow in Bosnia. So that are the reasons we want to establish this institution in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And we had an opportunity to host Ms. Tatiana Korotka from the Ukrainian Business Ombudsman in Sarajevo in 2018 and learned about these institutions in Europe and the world, and decided to seek for help from donors to advocate for this kind of institution in Bosnia. We succeed to get help from the US Embassy in Bosnia and Herzegovina for this project, and we are currently in the process of assessing all models of business ombudsman in the world, and we already have some meetings with business ombudsmen from Ukraine, Poland, and Kyrgyzstan, and thank you for that. And we hope we will have meetings with other representatives of other business ombudsmen. So we want to learn more about each model, how the business ombudsman was established, how it operates, and everything else. So we could assess which kind of model would be the best for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Just to give you some context, Bosnia and Herzegovina is a really small country, maybe 3 million people. We have 14 governments, administration that is really, really large, and those are challenges we need to overcome in the process, and to assess which kind of institution would be the best. There is a low level of trust in public institutions in Bosnia and Herzegovina, so that's one challenge more. So I'm happy to be here today, and thank you very much for the invitation. I just want to learn more about each model and invite you to help us and to support us in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And may I ask now Polish Ombudsman, Mr. Adam Abramowicz, to say a couple of words about how we operate in Poland. Teraz, jeśli mogę poprosić pana rzecznika Adama Abramowicza o kilka słów.
Zanim opowiem Państwu, jak działa rzecznik biznesu w Polsce, chcę nawiązać do propozycji kolegi Irakli Rekwinadze dotyczącego tego, żeby podjąć próbę zapisania tych wszystkich zasad, którymi się kierują rzecznicy w różnych krajach i żeby spróbować zrobić takie zestawienie wspólnych zasad, różnic i ewentualnie także, żebyśmy mogli później, także na przykład Bośnia Hercegowina mogłaby przedstawić swojemu rządowi już wnioski z prac rzeczników, które już trwają, żeby później nie wyważać otwartych drzwi, żeby kolejni rzecznicy, którzy być może będą powoływani w innych krajach, mogli korzystać z naszych doświadczeń. Także to Irakli bardzo dziękuję. Chciałbym też, żeby w tej chwili po naszym spotkaniu, czy w czasie ustalić, czy wszyscy się zgadzamy na powołanie takiego zespołu, który by pracował i taki dokument przedstawił. Czy wszystkie delegacje się zgadzają? Grzegorz. Gruzja?
Było
Georgia?
cały czas tłumaczenie angielskie.
Ja wiem, ale teraz chcę się dowiedzieć, czy wszyscy się zgadzają na to, żeby powołać zespół, czyli wydelegować ze swoich urzędów osoby, które by były upoważnione do stworzenia takiego dokumentu.
May we ask your opinion and eventual consent on what the Ombudsman just proposed, creating such a team, a work group to establish mutual consent?
No, może zróbmy inaczej, jeżeli po naszym spotkaniu już technicznie połączymy się z każdym z krajów i ustalimy szczegóły, czy dany kraj chce wejść do tego projektu i w jaki sposób będziemy pracować.
After the meeting, we'll present you with the details of our proposal and ask your opinion as well, and eventual decision on the project.
I wracam teraz do pracy rzecznika w Polsce. Jest sporo różnic w działaniu, jeśli chodzi o zasady działania rzecznika w Polsce, a w tych, które wy przedstawiliście. No, przede wszystkim rzecznik w Polsce ma zupełną niezależność. To znaczy zapewnia mu to kadencja 6-letnia i podczas tej 6-letniej kadencji rzecznika nie można odwołać. Gwarantuje mi to pełną niezależność od władzy publicznej, także i też od jakichś nacisków sił gospodarczych, którym by się nie podobało moje działanie. Mam się kierować wyłącznie zapisami ustawy, szeregu ustaw, które w Polsce nazywa się Konstytucja dla biznesu i mam być strażnikiem tej konstytucji. Także mam w ustawie zagwarantowany budżet, który też nie mogą mi politycy ograniczać, bo wiadomo, że bardzo często jak nie można wpływać merytorycznie, to się wpływa finansowo, czyli można zrobić tak, żeby rzecznik już nie mógł działać i wtedy też sparaliżować te działania urzędu. U nas tego nie ma, musi być kwota zagwarantowana, bo jest opisana w ustawie i nie można mnie odwołać. To jeszcze raz podkreślam, że bardzo sobie to cenię, ponieważ udało mi się zbudować w takim dosyć napiętej walce politycznej w Polsce urząd, który cieszy się zaufaniem wszystkich partii, więc to nie było łatwe, ponieważ byłem posłem tego ugrupowania, które dzisiaj w Polsce rządzi i ta druga strona miała do mnie dosyć ograniczone zaufanie, ale przez te 4 lata od 2018 roku udało się nam stworzyć niezależny organ ochrony prawa, coś na kształt Rzecznika Praw Obywatelskich, tylko działającego w tym segmencie gospodarki. Zajmujemy się podobnymi sprawami jak nasi koledzy w innych krajach, czyli mamy uprawnienia do wchodzenia do postępowań administracyjnych i te uprawnienia realizujemy na prawach prokuratora, więc też takie mocne umocowanie w tym działaniu. Różnica na przykład między nami a Uzbekistanem jest taka, że nie mogę wchodzić do sądów cywilnych, tylko administracyjnych i to nam trochę utrudnia pracę, ponieważ mamy bardzo wiele wniosków przedsiębiorców związanych z ubezpieczeniem społecznym i kontrolowaniem tych obowiązków składkowych oraz wypłaty świadczeń z tego systemu, a ubezpieczenia społeczne w Polsce działają dualnie, to znaczy na początku jest to postępowanie administracyjne, a później przechodzi to do sądów cywilnych. W tej chwili próbujemy przekonać polityków, aby to uprawnienie działania także w sądach cywilnych, przynajmniej w tym zakresie, zostało nam udzielone. Też ciekawa sprawa, tutaj bardzo wiele możemy czerpać z tych doświadczeń Uzbekistanu, ponieważ też nie mamy jako rzecznik możliwości występowania z inicjatywą legislacyjną. Ja zrozumiałem z wypowiedzi kolegi z Uzbekistanu, że oni taką inicjatywę mają. I to jest niezwykle ważne i zazdroszczę tutaj panu, że pan taką może mieć pozycję, no bo też zrozumiałem, że 27 aktów prawnych opracowanych właśnie przez rzecznika zostało przyjęte do realizacji. No, gdybyśmy my mieli taką możliwość, bylibyśmy niezwykle szczęśliwi. My możemy tylko wnioskować o zmiany legislacyjne, szukać w Sejmie i w rządzie sojuszników. No i szczerze mówiąc, w 1/3, a może nawet w 1/4 nam się udaje i w takich mniej znaczących rozwiązaniach, bo jeśli chodzi o sam system podatkowy, o wysokość stawek, o na przykład ten nadmiar legislacji, jaki w Polsce występuje, to tutaj tych sukcesów mamy trochę mniej. A więc mamy Mamy wydział interwencyjny, mamy wydział legislacyjny, działamy w Warszawie jako mieście centralnym i mamy oddziały w Białymstoku, w Krakowie, w Poznaniu i w Gdańsku. Stąd też terytorialnie nasi przedsiębiorcy mają do nas łatwiejszy dostęp. No, Polska jest większym krajem terytorialnie niż Gruzja, no, ale chyba mniejszym niż Uzbekistan i to sporo mniejszym. Więc te nasze oddziały też jakby pomagają nam być blisko przedsiębiorców. Taka różnica między też działaniem rzecznika w Uzbekistanie, a w Polsce i też tego zazdroszczę, to jest to, żebyście ukarali urzędników, znaczy złożyliście wniosek o ukaranie urzędników i on się okazał skuteczny. Otóż w mojej ustawie o rzeczniku w Polsce takie uprawnienie istnieje. Tylko ono jest całkowicie martwe, ponieważ ja też złożyłem 4 wnioski o ukaranie urzędników w takich sytuacjach czarno-białych. Ten urzędnik po prostu nie kierował się prawem, kierował się swoim interesem, działał w złej wierze, ale system u nas karania urzędników jest taki, że zajmują się tym komisje w danym urzędzie powołane przez urzędników z danego urzędu, w którym pracuje ten urzędnik, co do którego jest kierowany wniosek. I wszystkie te 4 wnioski, które skierowałem, nie zostały przyjęte i tutaj też próbujemy to zmienić. Jeszcze różnica między nami tutaj wszystkimi, to jest moje doświadczenie, u Was Wy tego nie robicie też, nie wiem dlaczego, być może specyfika kraju jest taka, nie inna, to jest to, że ja postanowiłem oprzeć się o środowisko przedsiębiorców i w takim sensie, że też być może dlatego nam jest to potrzebne, że nie mamy tego legislacyjnej możliwości zgłaszania projektów ustaw, że powołałem Radę Przedsiębiorców przy Rzeczniku. W tej chwili mamy 354 organizacje w tej Radzie. To są duże organizacje ogólnopolskie, między innymi ta organizacja Regionalna Izba Gospodarcza w Katowicach, która organizuje ten kongres, na którym dzisiaj jesteśmy. Mamy organizacje lokalne, mniejsze, a także organizacje branżowe i ci przedsiębiorcy pracują w takich zespołach roboczych, które właśnie opracowują te problemy, które my później możemy zgłaszać jako problemy zmiany legislacji. Też taka informacja, też zazdroszczę, bo u nas w Polsce tego nie ma, że w Uzbekistanie każdy akt prawny jest kierowany do rzecznika do opiniowania. To jest też bardzo dobre rozwiązanie i tutaj w tym naszym działaniu, żeby te rozwiązania prawne ujednolicać, będziemy się starali to zrobić, bo my musimy sami się domagać, wyszukiwać akty prawne, które wychodzą z rządu i dopiero do tego piszemy opinię, a ta opinia wcale nie musi być analizowana, więc tutaj to rozwiązanie z Uzbekistanu jest naprawdę dobre, bo jednak to zmienia zupełnie pozycję rzecznika w działaniach takich, żeby już na tym poziomie legislacyjnym zmieniać te przepisy, które uderzają w sektor MSP. Jeszcze także mamy powołaną Radę Naukową, bo sobie cenimy współpracę z uniwersytetami i ta Rada Naukowa, do której są kierowani profesorowie z tych uniwersytetów ekonomicznych, ale także przedstawiciele wydziałów ekonomicznych z innych uczelni. Ona też pozwala mi wzmacniać moje stanowisko, jeżeli kieruję do rządu w takich ważnych sprawach generalnych, których uważamy, że trzeba właśnie działać. Ta właśnie sytuacja covidowa była okazją do tego, że wielokrotnie żeśmy apelowali, żeby sektor MSP nie był zamykany, bo już po jakimś czasie okazało się, że skoro działa duży przemysł i budowy, duże organizacje są otwarte i one mogą operować, a zamyka się firmy tylko z sektora MSP, no restauracje, kluby fitness czy turystykę, no to skuteczność tego jest, jeśli chodzi o walkę z COVID-em, jest niewielka, za to koszty społeczne i koszty gospodarcze są przeogromne. W Polsce rząd wyasygnował 240 miliardów złotych na rekompensaty dla firm, które były zamknięte. Grzegorz, ile to jest euro? 240 miliardów złotych to jest...
It's around 60 billion euro, około 60 miliardów.
Tak, więc to ogromną kwotę kosztował nasz budżet to, że firmy były zamknięte. Mamy też takie rozwiązanie, że jeżeli sądy administracyjne orzekają w danej sprawie w rozbieżności, czyli są rozbieżne wyroki, my możemy występować do Naczelnego Sądu Administracyjnego o to, żeby wydał taką uchwałę. Jest 7 sędziów, się zbiera Naczelnego Sądu i wydają uchwałę, którą później kierują się sądy administracyjne, czyli mamy rozbieżność postępowania, my występujemy o uchwałę, jest ta uchwała, to oczywiście ona nie zawsze jest w naszym kierunku myślenia, ale często raczej tak, bo przygotowujemy, mamy bardzo dobrych prawników w naszym urzędzie i przygotowujemy to dobrze, ale wtedy, kiedy jest ta uchwała, to przedsiębiorca wie, jak ma się kierować tutaj w danym przypadku, bo niejasność prawa jest najgorszą rzeczą, jaka może wystąpić. Możemy też w związku z tym, że ustawy są bardzo często tak konstruowane w parlamencie, że one są niejasne, występować do różnych ministerstw, które są gospodarzami tej ustawy, o objaśnienia prawne, czyli jeśli jest jakaś rozbieżność w danym przepisie, my nie wiemy, jak to interpretować, występujemy o te objaśnienia, ministerstwo je daje i wtedy, jeżeli przedsiębiorca zastosuje się do tych objaśnień, jest chroniony, nie można go ukarać z tego powodu, że właśnie tak postanowił, a nie inaczej. Ta nasza Rada Przedsiębiorców przy Rzeczniku razem ze mną opracowała takich 10 punktów, które chcemy, żeby rząd zrealizował, aby poprawić możliwość działalności gospodarczej w Polsce. Ja tak szybciutko tę 10 przedstawię, bo jest to dla nas niezwykle ważne i być może będzie też takim wstępem do kolejnego pytania. Pierwsze to jest dobrowolne ubezpieczenie społeczne dla przedsiębiorców. Właśnie też jesteśmy bardzo ciekawi, jak u Was te systemy w Waszych państwach działają. W Europie jest to powszechne, że oprócz podatku płaci się też ubezpieczenia społeczne, zarówno za pracowników, jak i za przedsiębiorców. Jedynym krajem, w którym jest w Europie wyjątek, to są Niemcy, gdzie niemieccy przedsiębiorcy mają to dobrowolne. Mogą się ubezpieczać w systemie państwowym, mogą się ubezpieczać w systemie prywatnym, albo się mogą w ogóle nie ubezpieczać. W Polsce ta nasza składka ustanowiona na ubezpieczenie jest ryczałtowa, czyli nie jest w ogóle związana z dochodem. Jest bardzo wysoka, bo będzie wynosiła miesięcznie w przyszłym roku 1400 zł. To jest ile euro?
It's around 300 euro, około 300 euro.
Około 300 euro i jeszcze do tego jest składka na ubezpieczenie zdrowotne, które też przedsiębiorca musi płacić, więc suma jest dosyć wysoka i powoduje duże kłopoty tych małych przedsiębiorców, bo on, jeżeli nie zarobi na tyle, żeby zapłacić tą składkę, to po prostu wpada w długi wobec urzędu państwowego, no i później te długi są egzekwowane. A wiecie przecież, że państwo ma instrumenty do egzekwowania należności, których obywatel nie zapłacił. U nas jest ponad w tej chwili 200 000 przedsiębiorców, którzy zalegają już z tymi składkami, wobec których nasz Urząd Ubezpieczeń prowadzi już windykację, więc za chwilę tych firm nie będzie lub już ich nie ma i ci ludzie wypadają wtedy do szarej strefy i tam do końca życia pracują. Nie wiem, jak w Waszych krajach jest z płacą minimalną. W Europie też taka instytucja jak płaca minimalna istnieje i w Polsce jest ustanawiana na podstawie średniego wynagrodzenia, Związki zawodowe chcą, żeby cały czas ona rosła i w Polsce jest ona na cały kraj jedna. Mamy bardzo różne rejony, jeśli chodzi o rozwój gospodarczy. Są rejony, gdzie jest dużo przemysłu, jest dużo inwestycji zagranicznych, są duże państwowe firmy i tam ta średnia jest